Hello all, welcome to my channel. So today we will learn shadow element present inside the DOM. Okay. So before coming to the program, I would request each and everyone, please subscribe my channel and hit the notification bell button. So whenever I am uploading a new video, you will get notification immediately. Also, please share my videos with your friends and families, whoever is preparing for any automation interview or want to learn Java. I think my videos will be helpful for them. Also, please like my videos and share with your friends and family. I already mentioned, and also please comment your thoughts. Okay, if you need any clarification on any of the topic, okay, or if you have any other doubt, or if you need videos on any other technical topic, I will try to do those things. Okay, so now let's coming to the code. So shadow element. Okay, so what I am doing here, I am initializing web driver equal to new chrome driver, then maximizing the window, then I am using implicitly wait of 10 seconds. So these things I already mentioned previously also, I'm not going in detail. Okay, then I'm opening the browser, okay, and opening the website, that is driver.get. So this is the website. Then I'm using JavaScript executors to scroll a bit. Okay, then this part. Okay, so now we need to understand what is shadow element. Okay, now go to that website. So this is the website. Okay, if I refresh it, so here if you could see, there is one thing mentioned, this button is inside a shadow DOM. So let's inspect this. Let's try to understand what is the shadow DOM. Okay, so shadow DOM means what? DOM means once we open this website, okay, that HTML get loaded. From HTML to HTML, that is his DOM, document object model. Okay, and inside that there is head, body, header and other tags. Okay, main, div, and if any other DOM is present inside this original DOM, so that time we call that as a shadow DOM. Okay, and in the shadow DOM there is a shadow host, and inside the shadow host there is shadow root. Okay, and inside that root there is element. So this is a element. Okay, this is a element. So if you could see, I inspect this element. So this element is called shadow root element, and this is under what? This shadow root, it is mentioned, right? So this is the shadow root element, and this is holding this div id equal to shadow host. So this shadow is holding the shadow root, and this is the element inside this. Okay, so this, if suppose we need to inspect this element, we need to inspect this element. Okay, how we can do that? So one more point, XPath is not working. Okay, for shadow element we cannot inspect any element, okay, using the XPath. So XPath won't work here. For any other cases XPath is fine. Okay, we mostly use XPath only, but XPath cannot detect any element inside the shadow DOM. Okay, so only locator which is working for shadow element, that is CSS selector. So to identify any element, we have to use CSS selector. Okay, so how we can do that? So that is the most important thing. So let's see. So let's come to the code. So as I mentioned, okay, first is shadow host. Okay, this is shadow host. Inside that there is shadow root, and inside that there is shadow root element. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. First DOM, then shadow host, then shadow root, and then shadow root element. Okay, so again I am coming here. So this is shadow host. So here already ID mentioned as shadow host, but in any other website it can be any other name other than shadow host. Okay, here it is easily understandable because it is mentioned ID equal to shadow host, but it is not like every other website. Also it is not like that it will happen, means same name will be given. Okay, shadow host only, it can be any name. Okay, but we have to understand. Okay, because it is holding shadow host, this is holding the shadow root. So whoever is holding the shadow root, that is shadow host. So we have to understand inside what this shadow root is mentioned. So inside which is shadow root is mentioned, that is shadow host. Okay, in that way we can understand. Okay, so here it is mentioned shadow root. So inside this is shadow element, and whoever is holding the shadow root, that is shadow host. Okay, so now I think you are able to understand, right? So this is shadow host, it is holding the shadow root, and under the shadow root, okay, inside the shadow root there is shadow root element. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. So now the question is, if we can't inspect, okay, locate using XPath, then how we can do that? For shadow element we have to use CSS selector. Okay, okay, so now we need to understand how we can identify that element. So first we have to identify the shadow host. Okay, inside that shadow host we can go to the shadow root element. Okay, so if we go to the website again, okay, what is this? Okay, so there is id equal to shadow host. Okay, id equal to shadow host. So if you could see here, driver dot find element by dot css selector, okay, hash shadow host. Okay, so hash y for css selector, how we can get the id, that is tag name, we know that, right? Tag name, then hash, then id, and tag name is optional, so we can do that using this hash and id. Okay, so by dot css selector hash host, okay, using that we can get, and then we have to give a dot. Okay, if you can give a dot and get shadow root. Okay, so inside that we can go inside this shadow root. Okay, so this is the path, and we are storing it in a search context parent variable. Okay, so this is one. Then we have to go to, what is our objective? We have to go to that element, that button, right? So now again go to that website. So this is the button. Okay, this we need. From there till now it is fine. We identify this. Then we have to go to that. And here, what is the ID? ID equal to my button, right? ID equal to my button. So if I go there, okay, here I am giving parent dot find element by dot css selector hash my button, because ID means what? Tag name hash the ID, and tag name is optional. So this one, my button is mentioned, right? My button is mentioned. This one only I'm using. This ID only I'm using. Okay. This is done. Then I am taking a action class. In a action class, one I'm doing, I am creating an object of action class A1, and I am moving to the element E1. Okay. Now I'm going to that text. Okay. Move to that element means we are going to that E1 element. E1 means what? That button. Okay, shadow root element, and we are capturing the get text value. Okay, we are capturing this get text value. So I'm capturing this get text value. So what is this text? This button is inside a shadow DOM, so this text I need to capture. Okay, this text, that is my objective. So that I am doing, and then I am using thread.sleep. So why I am using thread.sleep? Because it is not a good practice, but if I use the thread.sleep, then you will be able to understand what are the changes is happening. Okay, that's why. And then I am using driver.quit. Okay, so that's it. Okay, please practice for other web pages, other website of shadow DOM element. Okay, shadow element, it is very important question. Let's run it, let's see the result. Okay, if you search in Google, you will get the plenty of website where we are having shadow DOM element. Okay, so you can do that. Okay, it is fine. Okay, now search the text value, text on the button. Okay, this button inside a shadow DOM. Okay, and that is present, right? This button is inside a shadow DOM. So that's mean code is working absolutely fine. Okay, so please practice it. Okay, please practice this type of program. Okay, this is very common question, frequently asked question. And let me know if you are having any doubt. I will try to clear the doubt. Okay, that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you all. Yeah, bye.